Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to Tarot by Pabby. Obviously, I am Pabby, and I'm really happy to have you here. I'm reading this early in the morning, and it's very bright, and the birds are tweeting where I am, and it feels very positive today. So I'm really excited to see what your career reading has in store. Today's reading is a career reading, and sometimes this can venture into less sort of your job, but more your life's purpose and your kind of longing for what you're destined to be. So although it is career, in some cases it can actually be a kind of destiny life path reading as well. So if you're listening to these, take that into account, because it may not relate to your career, but it might relate to what you feel like you're destined to do. I'll try and cover some of that in our reading as well. So this is a pick a card general reading. I have 3 beautiful crystals for you here today. I've got Citrine, Angelite and Amazonite for you. And the way I've placed them on these cards, it looks like little bursts of sunshine, which is maybe being influenced by the lovely sunny morning I have where I am right now. What I say with all my pick a card readings is I like to close my eyes, take a few deep breaths, then open my eyes, and whichever crystal you're immediately drawn to when you do this is usually the right reading for you. That works very well for me when I watch general readings on YouTube. If you have another method, that is also fine, and you may just feel a really strong pull to a crystal. You might also feel a pull away from a crystal. You feel like a sort of, oh no. And if you feel that, I'd really recommend watching that in all readings you watch on YouTube. If you have a real aversion to a crystal, there's probably a message in there for you, maybe from your shadow self, or it might just be a bit of a challenging one for you. Okay, so once you've picked your crystal, check out the timestamps in the description below, and I will see you there. Hello, Citrine group. I'm really happy to see you here today. As you can see, I've put some citrine on the right side of my display today, and that is a stone of abundance, prosperity, financial and career success. So I'm hoping to be able to channel that through that today. I'm using the Sacred Cards Oracle deck. I'll put a link to this below for you. And this deck I haven't seen used that much on YouTube, so I'm going to give you a brief explanation. But this deck is about sacred places in the world, usually on meridian lines or just places of really divine spirituality. And this deck, I don't actually use this deck for how it was intended. Apologies, Barbara, the creator of this. But I find this deck very, very helpful for career readings in particular. There's something about places resonating quite strongly with life path and career and sort of material things. It's quite earthy. And if you're familiar with tarot, it's like pentacles for me. This is how I view it. So I'm going to do an intuitive reading of these cards, but I am going to look at the book for you today because this is a general reading. The way the cards are intended to be read might actually relate to you. So bear with me when I turn these cards, because I will be looking in the book as well. Okay, so your first card is Mount Shasta. So Mount Shasta is in the USA. I think it's in California. And the overwhelming immediate message I get from this card is about balance, but also taking a bird's eye view of things. So whatever your career is at the moment, it might be going okay, but maybe you need to step back and look at the bigger picture. Have you got a plan for where you want to be? Have you got a plan for why you're in the position you're in at the moment? Are you in a role or on the right path for you is the overwhelming message I'm getting from this reading. And I think there is I think the bird imagery on this card is really strong in a sense that you will be receiving divine messages. So some of you will know this already, but for those of you who don't, feathers, if you see white feathers, especially as you have in this card, it's sort of an angelic gift, as it were. It's a sign that the angels or your spirit guides or somebody who's passed is looking after you. And the message from this card is those people are giving you a message, or whoever that is, whoever that guide is in your life, is giving you a message to rise above and look at the bigger picture when it comes to your career, your life path, your destiny, and money. It's a very positive thing. It's not that you're not on the right path. Lots of double negatives in that. But it's what is the bigger picture? And this is about your lifespan. This is about looking really into the future at what is going on and how what you're doing at the moment plays into that and your goals. Or it's taking a bird's eye view, but also going with the flow. There's a real sense of being led by the wind, being led by spirit, being led by the universe. And you might have opportunities that you don't necessarily expect, that are quite unexpected, but that carry you towards your divine path. I'm going to look in the book for you now and see what it says about Mount Shasta. Okay. So Mount Shasta is the energy focus of this card is serenity. It's exactly what I was talking about with that sort of peaceful, going with the flow, being taken by the wind feeling. These cards are split into 3 bands. So the bottom of the card, which is where the river, the brook is, the middle of the card, where you've got the feather and the mountain, and then the top of the card where you've got the eagles. So the lower world and Mount Shasta is a place of power for Native Americans. So the springs represent creators' footsteps. Yeah, this is about your path, your creative path towards your future and your life plan and your destiny. And there's a real message from the bottom half of this card that it's about letting go. It's about releasing and moving on. And I think in the context of your life path, again, it's taking that bird's eye view and releasing what isn't serving your highest good and your ultimate plans. They also say that the eagle feather is given for courage. So maybe this is, you've either had to be very courageous to let something go in your career, or your life path, or maybe this is something that you have to do. It is quite a courageous thing sometimes to step off the merry-go-round of career and not just keep trying to progress to the next stage and take a bird's eye view and take a bigger picture. So this is saying, I think there's a really strong message of you have been very courageous and you've been very brave. So that hopefully will resonate with some of you who've maybe had to make some quite difficult decisions up to your career and your life path to this point. So the middle world is a dormant volcano. It's called Mount Shasta. And it's a dormant volcano that's the final stop made by the dead on their westward journey along the world. So this is very much where you could be at the end of your career, this vision of what it is you want, what is your mountain, what is your final stop, what is your final aim. But again, this is about spirituality. This is about life after death. So there really is a very, very strong message of being guided by angels, spirit guides, and people who've passed with regard to your career, which is very nice. So keep an eye out for feathers, keep an eye out for birds, and these little messages. You might even want to express and say what you'd like to see from your guides, just as a confirmation that they're there. Some of us have little signs that we've set that nobody else knows about, that are very specific to us, and I really like doing that because it's a really personal message of validation that people are there and looking out for you. So in the book it says the upper world is your potential, and to see the bigger picture you need to find inner serenity. This is exactly what I was saying when I read it intuitively, this is about big picture, but that sort of being carried by the wind feeling is you just have to find inner peace to figure out what you want with regard to your career. And I really like, there's a sentence that says, a vision quest, spending a day or night meditating in a sacred spot in nature can help to silence your mind's monkey chatter. So this is about reconnecting with your spirit and your spirit guides and your destiny and quieting your human mind, because sometimes our human minds can really get in the way of what would make us truly happy and what we're destined to do. So try and practice some meditation or And meditation isn't always sitting with your legs crossed going om. That works quite well for some people. It works quite well for me. But actually, some people find meditation in other ways. So you could go outside and mow the lawn. You could do some gardening. You could go running. You could find meditation in the gym. You could actually find it quite meditative to be a public speaker. There are all these things that occupy our brain enough to such a point that we also get a kind of spiritual release. If you've ever done anything where time just completely flies, that I would say is meditation. There's a concept in psychology called flow, which is where a task is the perfect difficulty and you're interested in it to the perfect amount, and you get this feeling of being completely absorbed and time just flies. Video games do it as well, and that flow concept I find quite meditative. When you're in that state of real absorption, your mind is quiet, you're focused on one thing, and it's a real sense of peacefulness. So when I say find techniques to sort of explore spirituality, it doesn't have to be the hippie stuff that we're used to, and this sort of idea of spirituality we have in our head. If you do have anything that puts you into that flow state, that real absorption, this is a sign to do some of that, to rest and be more serene, because that will really help you take stock and have a think about your career. I'm gonna pull 3 tarot cards for you now and see what else is coming out in this reading. But it's it's a nice one so far, but I feel like there's a lot more to say. I'm getting some quite strong feelings for some of you, and I'm excited to see what those are. So you have the Chariot, the 2 of Swords in reverse, and Strength. Yes, this is the feeling I have. The Chariot, the speed. There's a lot of vibrancy. It's positive, but it's not busy, I would say, but it's just a feeling of wanting more, moving forward, progressing. I've already talked about progressing up the ladder of your career, and there's this feeling of really wanting to progress, almost for progression's sake. And I think the 2 of Swords reverse compounds this. So maybe you're going through a bit of a spiritual awakening and you're questioning, well, why do I want to be my boss? Why do I then want to be more senior? Why do I want to go to college? Why do I want to do this degree? Why do I want to go to grad school? Why do I want to go to university? There's all of these questions about the sort of chain of education or chain of career that I'm being questioned. And that can feel very much like the Chariot sometimes, that you're just being taken along for the ride. It's all very quick and it just happens. Whereas the 2 of Swords, especially in the reverse position, indicates that you feel conflicted about this. You feel like there's a choice you've got to make, but you're releasing that. It's almost like you're either you have done it or you haven't done it yet. There's messages for 2 different types of people in this, that you're being carried along by the kind of speed of career and life and your destiny, and actually you need to take stock and take a bird's eye view and be more spiritual to figure this stuff out. Or you have been going through this and it's quite the upheaval actually, but you've got the Strength card. So there's 2 major arcana here, so that's quite a strong energy. When you get more major arcana than minor, I know it's only 3 cards so far, but when you get more major than minor, it's a sign of quite a big life event or something that can be quite challenging, or you're moving to the next stage of the Fool's journey. If you're not familiar with tarot cards and the Fool's Journey, check it out because it's really insightful, and I think you might get a lot more out of these general readings on YouTube if you know that. But Strength, yes, you are strong enough to do this, but there's a resistance a little bit, or it's exhausted you. The message of Strength I get here is that it feels like you're going to have to be strong forever, and that isn't the case. I'm being very drawn to the infinity symbol on her head, which normally I'm not as much, but this is about feeling like you've got to be infinitely strong. And that's not the case. And that Mount Shasta card is saying you need to find inner peace and just be carried along with, and listen to your spirit guides and listen to those sorts of messages you're getting intuitively. And take that bird's eye view. Sometimes it's quite hard to be strong if you're going, if things are quite busy around you. I'm getting this feeling of bosses and busyness and speed and burdens and work and career. It could be exams as well. I'm getting a big exams vibe. And that we do have to be strong, don't we, when we do exams. I've done enough in my life to know that they really take it out of us, but they also, you have that chariot energy of there's something exciting about them if you're well prepared, but if you're not, it can be incredibly draining. And then you start questioning why you're doing the blooming exams when it's so stressful. And I have been there. So this is a message of taking stock, looking at the bigger picture, listening to your spirit guides. It's not just your personal intuition, this one. This is you're getting external signals and maybe you're ignoring it. But you are strong enough to take stock, and you are strong enough to step back and reevaluate. And although it might feel daunting, it might feel like you have to be strong forever, it's not the case. I'm going to pull some more tarot cards for you to clarify this a little bit more. Oh, so you have Justice. Okay. You have the Six of Swords in reverse and you have Death in reverse. Okay, something is blocked here. And the Justice card feels like you're about to get justice for what you've been doing. So either it's positive exam results, it's a promotion, or even it's just validation, or there's something's going to happen or is happening, which is kind of, it's not necessarily validation actually, but it's more you have this feeling of yes, finally. There's a very Libra vibe to this card, and it could be a person that is noticing what you've done, and it could be a promotion, it could be positive results, but there's definitely an external person vibe here, and it could be a Libra coming in to give you justice for your hard work. Exams, there's a really big exams vibe, and you're going to get justice for your hard work. But this also, it goes in the other direction. I'm getting is that if you haven't worked hard, you're not going to get the results that you get the results you deserve. So if you haven't worked hard, you're not going to do as well as if you'd revised and worked really hard to prepare for exams. And that equally goes for things like interviews as well. So there are two messages with the Six of Swords reverse and Death reversed. So I'll do the first one first. So this is you've had justice, and it's positive, and it's positive justice, and things are going well. But you're fighting this inner urge to run away. You want to move on, but you've got this justice now. So I wonder if this might actually be blocking you from taking stock. The Justice card actually is keeping you on the path of something that maybe isn't serving your destiny or isn't aligned with what you really want to do in your life. And then moving on to the Death card, you are about to take a leap of transformation, or there is the opportunity to make a really big life change, but you're not doing it because you've got some justice. So this positive thing, this someone noticing your hard work or being rewarded for your hard work is almost blocking you from transforming. Because if you've already been thinking, this job, I'm just not sure, whether it's actually me or whether it'll lead to what I want, or I'm doing this major or I'm doing this subject at university and it's not, I just don't know. You've now got either good exam results, or you've got a promotion, or your boss has given you a really good sort of acknowledgement that you've done a great job. And this justice feels like someone else. Not necessarily a person, could be an institution that's given you good grades. But it's blocking you from moving away when you thought that was what you wanted and going through this sort of death transformation. So this death transformation is in the future position in this reading, and it is blocked. You are blocking yourself from a really deep level of transformation, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to do it. This is what I'm getting, is that actually you might have been taking a step back, spiritually, you're listening to messages and you made a decision to quit something, and actually maybe quite a quick decision because it's the Chariot energy. you made this decision and actually something's happened that's made you go, oh, maybe this isn't the right decision. And the answer to figuring that out is to take a step back, reconnect with your spirit guides, but also your long-term plan. Like, take that bird's eye view, find some peace, and take some time to figure it out. It's always like, if a reverse card comes up in a tarot reading and it's sort of saying there's a blockage to something, it doesn't necessarily mean that the thing that's being blocked, so in this case, really phenomenal transformation and change, it doesn't necessarily mean that is what you have to do. It might not be right for you to go through this transformation and change. All it's saying is you just need to think about this a bit more. And there is a sense of success here. You either are successful or will be successful, and that's going to cause even more challenge. And the advice is, look at the bigger picture. And I'm getting a real sense of like journaling and actually writing down where you see yourself. And this could be in a career. So if you do XYZ qualification, or you get this job, what do you see in your future? It's that interview question when they go, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I don't know about you, but I'm like, I don't know. Especially nowadays, I don't think anyone has any idea of where they actually might end up. But it's that feeling of actually you're being asked this question by the universe, and they're saying it's actually easy. There's an ease to being able to answer it. That Mount Shasta card is a really lovely card. And you can move away from something that you're currently doing. You can try and have a really big transformation, but you don't have to. It all depends on what is aligned for you spiritually and what the messages you're getting are. It feels really nice, actually, this reading. There's a lot of busyness. There's a lot of thinking. There's a lot of... It's not emotions, it's a lot of thinking. You've got the 2 swords there. You've got 4 major arcana cards, which is a big deal. So this is a very important period of your life. It's it could be very transformational. And I think it will be, regardless of what you pick. But you don't necessarily have to run away from things. Just find that peace, take your time, and make a decision about it. And I'm going to pull a crystal card for you and see what that says. Okay, so you've got Citrine. This is a Citrine reading. It's that's so weird. It's giving me the tingles. Citrine, bring in the light. So this is, the light is the illumination of your path, is what I'm getting. Is you need to actually look at the light coming off that eagle's head. So you're going to get this light and this illumination and this you're going to get this level of understanding from this bigger picture work you're going to be doing. And also bring in the light. There is a sense of fun. Maybe this hasn't been fun. There's something coming in that you need to bring in fun or joy, actually. And Citrine is a solar plexus crystal, but it's also incredibly joyful. It's very, very, not like a laugh out loud, I'm watching a live comedian funny, but it's joy in that sense of real peace. There's a real serenity and peace here, and it's gonna help illuminate your path for you and help you make this decision. But also there's a sense of bringing the light. There's a real sense of other spirit guides here, angels coming in really strongly. So I think you need to let in that side as well, which can be quite scary and daunting. But you have a decision to make, and there are people wanting to guide you. You've just got to let them in, and take a step back and think of the bigger picture. And get journaling, because if you don't do it already, it is phenomenal for your spiritual health and your mental health. Just brain dump every morning. Write down a big old brain dump of what you're thinking about this. And doing that, even for a week, will really help sort of you understand your thoughts and thinking a bit more. Journaling is the big old message here. But yeah, what brings you joy? Take a step back. Listen to your angels, Citrine. Oh, that's lovely. I hope you have a really, really wonderful day. If you've enjoyed this reading, please comment below and let me know. I'll try and respond to comments, and also subscribe so you're updated when I have another reading for you. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. Hello, Angelite group. Really, really happy to see you here in this career, life plan, destiny reading. I said to the other group, I'm using the Sacred Sites Oracle deck today, and this deck is very earthly and grounded. It has images on of actual places in the world where there's meridian lines or real sites of spirituality. They're very beautiful cards, these ones. I don't actually use them the way they're intended normally in a reading. I find they're very helpful for career readings. But obviously, as this is a general reading, I am going to look at the book and tell you what the reading is supposed to be based on the book for this deck, because that might resonate with you more than the intuitive messages I'm getting. So I'm going to start with this Sacred Sites Oracle card. If you're interested in this deck, I'll link it below for you. So the Sacred Sites Oracle card you have is Medina. Medina is in Malta, and if you're not familiar with where Malta is a small archipelago, which just means group of islands. I don't know why I didn't say that in the first place. But it's in this very southern Mediterranean, so it's off the coast of Libya. It's also close to Sicily and southern Italy, but also Corsica. So if you look at the Mediterranean, find the boot of Italy, and from the tip of the toe of Italy, if you just track along left, there'll be a very, very small island somewhere kind of in the middle of nowhere. That's Malta. And Medina is a very ancient city. And this card, there's a woman holding someone who's been beheaded. So this immediately screams to me that you've won something or someone has won over you. I think the woman is you. I think it's sort of you've won over the man, the big man, the system. There's a real sense of winning and success here. Now, this might be the way you're supposed to read these cards is they're split into 3 bands across the middle, the bottom, middle and top. And this could be in your future, this pride and this winning and this defeating someone or something that's been quite detrimental to you. But this card is covered in bees, like little worker bees. I feel like you in your career, in your life, you've been a little worker bee, just almost silently, not necessarily silently because they do buzz, but like buzzing away in the background, just doing stuff. You've just been doing stuff. There's a lot you've done, and you've actually ended up with quite the impressive life, or you're on the way to having quite an impressive life because you have this sort of bee mentality. And bees don't work alone either, so you'll have been working with other people quite a lot. Yeah, you'll have been working with other people quite a lot. You'll have been, I want to say, serving someone. So bees serve the queen, and the queen bee isn't on this. So maybe it doesn't have to be a person, but it could be like an authority or an institutions, or I feel like this could be education and the queen bee is like the institution of education, which gives you qualifications, and you've been working really hard, and it's quite a dynamic, fun energy. This is actually a very positive intuitive reading I'm getting from this card. There's the castle at the top, and this is the sort of success, victory of where you're headed, but there is this sort of dark hole so that goes underneath the castle, that's kind of the castle's foundations. So I think you're building, or have been building, the foundations for quite a successful career. And it doesn't necessarily have to be career, this reading. It can be life path or destiny, but this is a very, very, very Pentacles card. You've been physically building stuff. There's stuff you've been doing which is either about to pay off or is paying off now. So I'm going to have a look in the book and see what it says for you. There we go. Yeah, this is it. The energy. So this has happened again. So my intuitive reading is actually quite similar to what the book reading is. So maybe I'm very in sync with these cards. I really like them. So who knows? But the energy focus of Medina card is tenacity, and that is exactly that worker bee vibe. Very tenacious energy about this card. But it's good things are happening. There's a real positivity here that you're about to see big payoffs. This doesn't feel like hugely in the future, these payoffs either. It feels like something is coming for you. Or maybe you're just going to start seeing that, like, what you've done. You're gonna have an awakening of sorts, quite suddenly, maybe. Let's have a look what the book says. Aha. So it's the lower part of this card is about resting. So you've been building these foundations and you've been like a tenacious little bee. But actually what you need to do is rest a little bit because you've been working very hard to build your castle. It's okay to rest sometimes. You don't always have to be grafting. And I think this is the message from the lower half of that card. But it's also, there's actually a sense of, it talks about the Knights of St. John, and they were healers, and it's kind of saying you need to be looked after by someone else. Maybe this is the other bees, the worker bees around you. You need to be being looked after by someone else, I think. And then the middle world, it says, yes, are you always looking after other people? If you are, or you're being a little busy bee for other people's careers and life destiny. Maybe you're helping other people find their life destiny. Maybe you're in a caring profession, like you could be a therapist or coach, or thinking about going in that direction, or you're just quite a giving person with your energy. Maybe you're being drained a little bit and you need to recharge. Is what the book is saying for you on this one. Oh, this is so sweet. So the upper world and the potential. So the bees you see at the top and bottom of the card represent the honey sweetness of Malta. Allow your sweetness to show when dealing with others, but be like the bee and rise above problems. Yes, this is it, that you've been incredibly tenacious and you've built something awesome, but actually you do have a sting in your tail and maybe you haven't been using it. Maybe you haven't been speaking out at work. And with your career as much as you should have been. Or now is your time. Now you have been busying away. Now is some time for you. And there is a sense of rest in this card. I'm going to pull some tarot cards as well and see what those say for you. But this is such an interesting energy. I'm really intrigued to see what they'll say. Okay, so you have the Hanged Man. There we go. Knight of Cups and the Queen of Swords in reverse. Okay, so the Hanged Man is definitely this sort of almost forced rest and enlightenment. That Hanged Man is hanging upside down. He's in reverse, but on this card it looks like this person is reaching enlightenment. So the Hanged Man upright is very much someone has forced you, put you in a position where you are powerless, and it's brought about enlightenment and the person's happy about it. Whereas this is, I don't think you've been put in a position of powerlessness, but you've got some enlightenment in your situation. You are feeling maybe a bit drained, maybe a bit tired, but you've put yourself there. And that links with the Medina card and the worker bees, that actually the rest is good for you. Rest is, and you're probably going through something like this now, or you've been through it in the past, that like you've been forced to reflect. But then I say you've been forced, but that isn't what's coming through. This is you've chosen. This feels much more like a choice to rest. It doesn't feel like you've worked so hard you've burnt yourself out, which is really nice. And then the Knight of Cups is definitely some sort of emotional support messenger, somebody or an energy that is coming in to help you emotionally. So when we are thinking about career and our life and destiny, it can be quite emotionally draining to sort of to go through this, and actually we can neglect ourselves, like the Medina card is saying. But the Knight of Cups is your knight in shining armor, really. This person, it could even be your own inner self, is kind of stepping in and saying, no, I'm going to rescue you from this sort of whatever's been going on, the thing you need to rest from. It's not negative, it's not an event, it's just feeling a bit tired. But this knight in shining armor is going to really help you do that. And there could be a sort of link with love. I do feel like there might be something happening at work which is going to change your mindset from something which is very focused and thoughtful and thinking. This is the Queen of Swords energy. This might be you. you're thinking, you're very focused, you're thoughtful, you're powerful, and you're being very, very in your head and very tenacious at work, and you're getting stuff done. But this Knight of Cups is coming in and reminding you that actually there are other things to life than work, and you might have a bit of a love interest, or there's just someone, this Knight of Cups feels very external to you. This is someone else's influence, and it could just be a really great friend or a mentor, or someone is coming in to help you and to help you figure out how to rest, I think, because you have very much been the Queen of Swords, and you kind of need this restful time, I think. I'm going to pull some more clarification on this, because it does fit, the energy feels slightly muddled right now, but I'm going to pull some more for you. Oh, wow. So you've got Pentacles, Pentacles, Pentacles. You've got the Knight of Pentacles, you have got the Nine of Pentacles, and you have got the Queen of Pentacles. This is saying that you are, this couldn't be more successful. This could not be more. You are going to ace whatever you choose to do, literally. You have worked really hard, and you are going to see the fruits of your labour. The Queen of Pentacles is also a really lovely feminine energy, feminine earth energy, and I feel like this is you and the ultimate thing of what will happen. It's exactly what I said at the top. It's that victory. That's victory over something that may have been blocking you. There is this sense of someone, you feeling a bit, maybe this is where the enlightenment comes from. You're just feeling a bit frustrated, and there's someone that's causing this. But your Queen of Pentacles is like a kind of sigh of relief. I'm on my throne. I'm in my beautiful garden. It's a very motherly, maternal vibe. But it's also, it could be wealth and abundance. Well, no, it is wealth and abundance. I cannot ignore the abundance from this set of cards. I don't usually like to say money and wealth, because people think about that in quite a single-minded, narrow-minded way. But if you are looking for wealth, you're going to get it. You're going to get promotion. You're going to have a really stable foundation, and your worker bee tenacity is paying off completely. And I think this is also about like giving space for love. This person, this Knight of Cups energy, this friend, this compassion, this emotional energy that you might have kind of either been ignoring or not had in your life, is going to really make you stop and take stock of your wonderful abundance. This abundance is coming for you. The castle, you are almost there. The castle you have been building is that you're not just at the foundations anymore. You are really, really on the way to immense success. But there's such a lovely energy about this. I'm not including the Knight of Pentacles really yet, because this feels very separate, but there's a really lovely energy of just sharing your wealth, but knowing that you have made it on your own. There's sort of this motherly ability to give and offer support, and it could be that you are in some sort of very successful therapeutic business or therapeutic, you're just a wise female energy. It's not gendered, but it's a very feminine energy, and you've been watering your garden, you've been buzzing away, and it's all going to come to fruition. How lovely is that? The Nine of Pentacles in the middle is very much you are being personally rewarded for this. Is a very personal journey, but it's on top of the King of Cups. So I wonder if you're going to have some sort of like moment of pride and going, wow, I've done amazingly. I've got all this abundance. I'm wealthy. I've succeeded. You're going to have this success. And at the same time, this person is going to come in. And if it is love, it's going to feel very serendipitous. Like you're kind of at the end of you're like, oh, I've done so well. And then it's like, oh, okay, you've got space for love and it's coming in for you. But again, it could just be space for lovely friendship. There's a real sense of this love. This person is lovely. It's a knight in shining armor, and it doesn't have to be a love interest, but it is related to this success that you've built from your career and your life path. Yeah, wow. And these pentacles are slow as well. I think there's a slowness to this, so it may not happen quickly. I feel like this Knight of Cups is going to come in as a sign for you to switch off your Queen of Swords, if that makes sense. Switch off your kind of real, almost ruthless energy of thought and being thinking and tenacity, and then you're just going to get this sign of resetting. And when you reset, it's going to cause all this abundance, or you're going to be able to see your abundance in a different way. And this Knight of Pentacles is really sticking out separately for me. I think this is a promotion. This is a gift. This is a real gift for your career and life plan. Something is going to happen in your career, and it could be soon, but I don't think it is. I think it's at least a year away. But something is going to happen. There's going to be someone coming in after this Knight of Cups energy that's going to go, oh wow, awesome. And it's almost like you're losing your Queen of Swords energy, and that is what is going to make everything successful. You're going to stop being so fixated on thought and truth and tenacity and all of this sort of stuff. The Queen of Swords can be quite a hard energy, fast, hard, demanding. And once you take that pressure off yourself, once you transform your thinking to be more emotional because of this Knight of Cups character, it's going to, the world is, in the universe is going, oh, okay, right, she's reconnecting, right, let's give her all this abundance. And I'm saying her because it's the Queen of Swords, but this isn't gendered. But yes, you're going to get all this abundance. Let's give them this abundance now they've reset and got back in touch with their emotions because of this person. It's lovely. And then the Knight of Pentacles is definitely someone coming in. So if the Knight of Cups is a knight in shining armor in terms of emotions and relationships, and the Knight of Pentacles is a knight in shining armor in terms of finances, career, success. So you're going to be given an opportunity or a gift, or there is just something, and that's going to trigger this abundant journey. So look out for these two characters, because they're not you. The knights aren't you, the queens are, because they're going to signal big things, and they might signal opportunities. But they're definitely coming from you being a tenacious little bumblebee. And maybe there's a bit of advocacy maybe going on from the Queen of Swords. There's quite a sort of intellectual, rational energy that you're putting to good use to challenge systems as well. There's a real sense of like protest I'm just getting this message of protest, but that is gonna somehow lead to real success. Maybe you just start standing up for yourself in a more emotional, kind way. Maybe it's kindness to yourself. Yeah. So look out for these knights. I'm really excited for you. I'm going to pull a crystal card just for a little bit more advice. But this is a really, really, like, look at that. You couldn't get more awesome for those for a career life path reading. The one thing I would say is that the pentacles are very, very earthly. They're very grounded. This is a very much material, earthly world success. And sometimes when we get that, when we've got everything we ever dreamed of, it makes us go, now what? So just be a bit wary of if those questions coming up. It's not going to be for a while, I don't think. But that might happen. And that's okay. That's a new step in your journey, and you're better able to explore that side of yourself, the spiritual and the emotional side of yourself, if you're coming from a place of material stability. It's just always easier. Okay, what does your crystal card say? Okay, you've got clear quartz. Oh, get crystal clear. That is so interesting. So this is about the Hanged Man. So whatever... Yeah, I haven't actually focused on that enough in this reading. I hear you. The Hanged Man is very much you seeking enlightenment and choosing to do so. So this is about getting crystal clear on your goals, and you're building foundations, but you've got to build the right foundation so the castle doesn't fall over, right? So get really crystal clear. This is you now. This is the step to this amazing abundance, and these nights is getting really clear what you want. It does feel very much in terms of wealth and abundance, like figure out how much you need, figure out how you're going to get there, because that's really, really going to help with this Knight of Pentacles coming in to give you it. This isn't actually law of attraction. This is very material. So I get this feeling of you need to get crystal clear and tell people. So there's always this thing with work and job and career. Like if you're having an interview, ask for the salary you want. Go on Glassdoor if you haven't heard of that. It's a website where you can look up salaries of jobs. But like look at the other comparable people who are doing your job, look at the other job titles and how much they earn and ask for it. Get clear. It's that type of research. It's that level of this abundance. This is not a law of attraction. This is a you asking. This is a you getting really, really, really clear on what you need to live a successful life. So maybe it really is like, what is my dream amount of money? How much money do we need to pay off a mortgage, or what level of career promotion do I need to achieve my career goals? There is a lot of exams, education stuff going on here. So it is being clear, but it is being strategic about where you put that tenacious energy you've got. And that's what the Hangman is saying. It's take some time to plan. Definitely take some time to plan. And it feels very much about money and career steps, and majors and exams and what subjects you do. It feels like that. It's very, very practical. So get crystal clear on what you want and how and what you need and how you're going to achieve it. Create a really detailed plan and path that you're building the right foundations, and then go for it. And keep an eye out for these 2 nights. I'd love to hear if any of this resonates with you, or if these nights show up in your life. Let me know. It's fascinating to hear. If you have enjoyed this reading, comment below, but also like and subscribe so you're always updated with my next readings. Thank you so much, Angelite group. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. Hello, Amazonite group. Really, really lovely to see you here. I'm excited to see what your career, life plan, destiny reading is today. The others have been quite long. I'm an intuitive reader, so they're as long as the messages keep coming. So I'm really intrigued to see what comes out of yours today. So, as I said to the other groups, I'm using the Sacred Sites Oracle deck today. This deck includes lots of different sacred sites in the world, and these are either on meridian lines or just places of immense spirituality. Now, I don't actually use this deck how it was intended. I'm much more of an intuitive reader with it, but because this is a general reading, I am going to consult the book as well, just because for some of you there might be some messages that resonate more with the intended definitions rather than my intuitive reading of them. Okay, let's get going. Okay, so you have aphrodisias. Wow. Now this is immediately, I think, very clearly a love card, but this is about career and destiny, and your life path. I'm really interested in love cards that come out so strongly in career readings, because I feel like there's a rational way, a sort of human way of thinking about it, that's like you're going to meet your loved one through your career. Whereas I like to see what actual messages come through regarding this. And this is a really interesting one, because I don't think this is about love in the traditional partnership sense. I think this is you either adoring your career or developing a true love for what you do. There's something very aligned in you about you can do what you love. There's such a sense of you're either doing it now, or there's such a sense of opportunity for you, Amazonite group, to really do what you love, and that's actually quite rare, isn't it, nowadays? But this is a really strong signal that you can, and you will, and you might be already on the verge, or you might be doing what you love already, and that is exactly where you should be. So looking at this card a little bit more deeply, I think the swans is a really interesting image of duality here, that it is like your perfect fit. It feels quite divine, and swans mate for life. So I feel like once you hit on your career and what it is you're supposed to do with your life, that is it. It's gonna stick. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be a real partnership. And And there's a very feminine energy to this card. And in the career reading, it could be that it's something that's associated more with feminine energies. So things that are more caring, that are more emotion based. But actually what I think, that's quite gendered in our society. But what I think, there is a power in feminine energy of birth and conception and compassion. And I feel like this is almost like an ideas message is coming through, that like this could be an entrepreneurial energy. It could be that whatever you're doing in your job, it's very creative, but it's ideas, it's newness, it's really, and you love it. You love doing this thing, which is producing and creating and bringing newness to life. And as I said, it's such a strong message of once you find it, boom, you're off. You're gonna just be blown away, really. And you might be in it now. And if you have that feeling, or you're in this position of choosing something, this is a huge sign to do what you love, do what you love, do what you love. I almost want to shout it. I'm not going to, because nobody wants to hear that on this mic. But do what you love is such a message. But there's also, the top of this card is about support. So this is not you doing what you love on your own. There's two swans, there's two people helping you. This is about doing what you love, and people have got your back. And it could be the universe, it could be actual people in life, friends, family, partners, but it also could be spirit guides as well. However that resonates, and however that links to you, take that. I'm going to look and see what the book has to say about aphrodisias. Oh, aphrodisias is in Turkey, by the way, if you're not familiar with geography. Before getting this deck, I didn't know that there was a sacred site called Aphrodisias in Turkey. But that is the temple on the card. So if you have the opportunity to go to Turkey, do it. This is a real sign. So the card Aphrodisias, the energy focus is love, which is not surprising, and it's in Aydin province in Turkey. Now these cards are split between the bottom level, the middle, and the top, and the imagery you're supposed to read that way. So the lower part, which in this card is the past, is that it is about binding people together in love. And this is the message, is your urge to make your heart receptive to love. So this is what I was saying about love being the driver to your career, your life, and your destiny in this reading. But you have to make your heart open to that. You might have experienced difficulties with doing things maybe you didn't love, but actually that's making you stronger, and it's opening your heart up to doing what it is you love. And then the middle world, which is where the temple is the sacred site. So the Assyrians worship their goddess Ishtar here. And this is messages of healing love. So this is about visiting a temple to heal your relationship with love in your life plan. This is interesting because in a relationship reading, this is a very different message. But what I'm getting from this is that there is a place, there is an actual physical place where you can go to find what you love. I feel like I'm getting like conventions in my head, like conventions of like-minded people to figure out what you love and how you can make this your career, because you're meant to do it. You are destined to love this. And then the top is Aphrodite, and the top is Aphrodite, and it says you should be no longer embarrassed to show yourself to the world. So if you do what you love, shout about it. Project that everywhere, because this is what you're destined for. And this is such a lovely message of doing what you love, because that's what you're meant to do. I'm going to pull some tarot cards to get a bit more specific on where you are right now with regards to this. But your overall message is do what you love, and you're meant to. You really are destined to do what you love. So we have the Page of Pentacles, the Knight of Swords in reverse, and the Devil in reverse. Oh, okay, you are very blocked right now. You're very, very blocked. So maybe you've got, the Page of Pentacles is coming in as this gift, this newness, this new thing in the material world. It might be a new job or a new career. But there is something stopping you from taking it. So the Knight of Swords upright is a sign of real speed and grabbing things and going for it, but it's reversed, and in this reading it is almost stopped. I think it's almost, you are absolutely not taking this from the Page of Pentacles, and I wonder if it's because it's not aligned. And then the Devil in reverse is about slightly toxic influences, and it's about boundaries and constraints and bondage, in a sense of you are being bound to obligations, to other things. But this is reversed, so it's making me think that you need to release the obligations and these toxic ideas and people to pursue what you love, or that you are you're feeling slightly stuck and you don't know how you want to. You've kind of got to a place of, okay, I need to break free from this thing, this job. I feel like there's the Page of Pentacles is bringing an offer you don't want, that isn't aligned with your true purpose and what you love. But on these cards, this really interesting dynamic of the Knight of Swords is rushing towards sword high for the devil. It's gonna slay the devil for you. There is this energy of, and this is you, there is this energy of wanting to really conquer these toxic ideas, and it feels like ideas. It doesn't feel like an external influence, or it doesn't feel like a person, I should say. You desperately want to move into doing something you love, and maybe, yes, you're really blocked from doing this. And I think you're blocked from doing this by money, by stability, by maybe you've been offered a promotion you don't want, you've been offered a job you don't want, there is this new offer. And it could be read in reverse. This is a general reading, so it could be that you are going to be given an offer, and then that will lead you to being able to chase after your demons and conquer them and pursue what you love. It could be in that way around, but this Page of Pentacles, this is something that has happened or is happening. It's very present at the moment, and there's a message of you need to conquer some demons, to either say yes to it or say no to it, whichever is best aligned with what you love to do and what you think your life path destiny is with regards to your passions. Oof, that's quite a deep energy there. I'm going to clarify it again and see what comes out. Oh wow, right, okay. The Hierophant in reverse. The Six of Cups in reverse and the Temperance in reverse. There is so much reverse here, and it's very significant that the Page of Pentacles is the only upright card. All of this reversal is blockage. You're just desperate to pursue what you love and you can't. So the Hierophant is on top of the Page of Pentacles. It makes me think like that what you love isn't part of an institution. So it's not like it's not part of a big corporation where you're just climbing the ladder. It's not part of an education system. It's not well defined. It's not a structure. It's not a big institution. And either this new opportunity is making you reject these institutions that you love. So it could be that you really love education, you really love religion, you really love these sort of corporate structures, these big organisations, and it gives you a lot of passion and you love that. But this offer is not in those, and it's causing you some challenge. But I'm getting a stronger feeling that this is about the offer is what part of these institutions. So this offer comes from these institutions, and you don't want to be part of them anymore. There's a real rejection of these structures. Interesting. Oh, there's some real. This is difficult for you. I think this is really challenging for you. The Six of Cups is normally a kind of childlike nostalgia, wishful thinking. But for you, I think you might almost be wishful thinking and being nostalgic too much. It's causing you a real block. It's stopping you from being able to slay your demons and conquer your demons and pursue what you love. There is this sense of too much wishful thinking, too much thinking about the past, too much of thinking, oh, I should have done it when I was younger, or I can't do that, I'm too young. There's an age thing here going on, and this reading is saying you got to drop that. You've got to get out of your own way. Stop wishfully thinking about the past or what you could or couldn't do, and take these constraints away, because then you can be the Knight of Swords, and you can conquer your demons, and you can pursue what you love. You can take the opportunity that's coming, or reject it, whichever one of those resonates better with you. And then Temperance is in reverse on top of the Devil, which is just there's such a painful, stressful energy in this. And I'm rubbing my eyes. I feel like if you're getting headaches, you're getting stress headaches, I'm crunching my eyes up. There's a real this is difficult to pursue what you love. And boy, don't we all know that though. Like, often what we love is not something that's easy to do in society. If you are so lucky. But often it's not. And Temperance is usually the card of seeking balance, readjusting its peace, calm after the storm, but it's also so messages. And I think you might be ignoring some of your angel messages. I think you're ignoring your intuition, you're ignoring balance, you are out of alignment. And these are the reversals in this card. I feel like, apart from the Hierophant in reverse, the Knight of Swords, the Devil, the Six of Cups in reverse, and Temperance, these are all things that you could reverse the other way and conquer. And the way you conquer that is with balance, is finding some sort of balance. So maybe you're not making enough time to do what you love. You're not making enough time to conquer your demons. There's just so much blockage here from doing what you love. And it could be that the systems that are in place are stopping you from taking this opportunity. And this is tough. This is really, but it is such, again, there's a lot of major arcana cards here. There's 3, and they're all reversed. So there's a lot of transformation and change that could be happening in your life, but it's not happening. And the key is balance. The key is actually, I think this is a baby steps towards what you love challenge. I think maybe you have to take the opportunity of the Page of Pentacles to give you the financial stability, to be able to give you more time and money to be able to pursue what you love. But balance, reassess. You're out of sync with what you love. You need to do at least a little bit of it, a bit more of it, if you can. And there's always time. I think time is the biggest illusion of being a barrier, to be honest, because we spend so much time on our phones, and I'm getting such a put the phone down, put your phone down, and do something towards what you love. With your career and your life plan. It doesn't necessarily mean that what you love has to become your career, actually. That's coming through, but you need to do more of what you love. You're out of balance. But you really there's something in what you love that you are destined to do and could be very successful at, if you get this balance back, and if you stop being so nostalgic about what's happened in the past or what you could have been. There's a real sense of what I could have been if I'd only known as a child. And there's a strong message of, I don't really get this. There's a strong message of not picking the right major or topic at university, or if you're British, GCSEs, A-levels. There's a sense of you haven't done this piece of education, so you can't take this opportunity. And this is saying you need to find the balance, because if you love it enough, you can always be an adult learner. You can always go back to learn. I'm an adult learner myself, and it's difficult to get your head round that just because you're not a teenager anymore doesn't mean that you can't go back and do something you love. Find that balance, because the opportunity will come and you'll be able to conquer all these things when you get that balance back. And again, there is this message from the Hierophant which is coming through now, which is there is something like you can't take this opportunity because you're not qualified enough, or you can't afford the qualifications, or there's something about, or you can't even remember what you learned. I think I'm really guilty of that. I can't remember anything I learned at university the first time. And there's this sense of feeling like you don't have the qualifications, you don't have the knowledge, and Temperance is coming in and saying, well, if you create a bit more balance, you You can reassess, because actually you're on a path to doing what you love. You are destined to do what you love, and you can't fight this. And these reversals, you are fighting this. You're putting all these barriers in the way, and it's quite scary sometimes to sort of go for what we love, because if you're rejected from something or something doesn't work out and you're not that passionate about it, it's less painful. Whereas if you go for something and you put yourself out there and you try and you love this thing and it doesn't work, that is so painful. And I think that's what your devil energy is that just this real fear, this fear of rejection, this fear of not being good enough if you do the thing you love. And I'm here to tell you that you have to try. You have to try. Temperance is saying you have to. You can create balance in your life, but you have to try. That Page of Pentacles, you have to try, and you have to. Once you take it, things will happen quickly and things will work out. But you have to try here. There isn't. I have no idea what the outcome of this will be if you do try. So you've got to try under the knowledge that you might have to try a lot, but because you love it, it's worth it. And trust me when I say that rejection is really painful the first few times you go through it, but I've gone through a lot of rejection in my career, and the more you go through it, the easier it gets, and the more resilient you become, and the better you become at pursuing what you love. You got this. It'll be okay, and it's scary, and that's okay, but you need to get that balance back. Think about how you can become your own Knight of Swords and deal with these demons that you've got. I'm going to pull a crystal card and see what that has to say for you as well, and give you a bit more advice on this. But this feels like quite an urgent need for you. Oh, okay. You've got Moonstone, live your purpose. Exactly. You are out of sync completely. You're not living what you love, and you might be getting an opportunity soon or at the moment, and it's really hard for you. This is a hard decision, but this Moonstone is saying live your purpose. You will not regret going after what you love. Yeah, that's everything I've got for you today. Amazonite group, you can do this. You really can. Live your purpose. Live an aligned life with what you love. And things will just be incredibly beautiful for you. You got this. If you have resonated with this reading and you want to comment, I'd really love to hear from you. Equally, let me know if there's anything I could do better or anything you want readings on in the future, and I will try and do that for you. Also, I would really appreciate it if you could subscribe and like this video, because then you'll be updated with when I have a new video for you. Thank you so much for visiting today. I hope you have a wonderful week. Goodbye.